Hello, hello! Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 hosting tips. I've been hosting at least once a month for this year, and I did almost every month last year, and these tips have saved me so many times. Let's get into it. The first one is so important, and it is to set an intention for the event or the gathering. So whether that's to get closer with your group of friends, to make new friends, to celebrate someone, it's so important to set the intention because this is going to help you with the guest list. And if you follow me on Instagram, it's at Hosted by Allison. I just did an entire post on making a guest list with tons of details in this that is super helpful if you're looking for that. Tip number 2 is to set a dress code. No one wants to show up overdressed or underdressed. I think this is such an important tip. So for a girls' night in, this will be something like cozy PJs. I like to sometimes send a Pinterest board with some photos so people can kind of get a better idea or a vibe of what they can wear. Obviously, people don't have to do anything strict, but I think people like to know what everyone else will be wearing. Maybe if you're doing a dinner party, the dress code could be something like colorful sundresses. And I just think this is so fun. It makes pictures so pretty, and it's just fun to get dressed up, to have a dress code, something to look forward to. I think it just adds to the whole experience. If you're doing a New Year's party, the dress code could be silver sparkles. I don't know, there's just so many ways you could do this, and I think it's just such a great addition. And I'll sometimes put it on the invitation, or sometimes I will text it if it's something like pajamas. I'll text it like along with my little evite that I'm sending. And then if it's something that needs a Pinterest board, I'll usually send that, or not a Pinterest board, but a Pinterest like inspo photo. So I'll find pictures on Pinterest and then put them on a little like vision board type of thing on Canva and text that over as a little image. Number 3 is personalization or some sort of gift. I think it's so special to just send guests home with something at the end of the night that can just help them remember the experience. So for a color analysis party that I did, I printed out a little sheet that had a little picture of everyone and a place for them to write in their best colors, their worst colors, and their hue. We did it for like warm or cool since it was just a mini color analysis. So I thought that was nice. They could just take home a little piece of the night to remember it and remember their analysis too. These do not have to be expensive. I know when you hear gift for a party, it just sounds like that would be expensive, but for like a goal setting night, I did a hole punch with a ribbon and the initial of everyone's name, like on a little sticker on cardstock. So it could be something literally like that that's just $2 or homemade. It does not have to be expensive at all. Tip number 4 is to make sure that you are leaving space open for good conversation. I did a poll on my Instagram and I said, what's more important, good food or good conversation? And almost everyone, I think there's only one vote that said good food, everyone else said good conversation. So just making sure you have pockets of the night that leave room for this. One way you could do this is conversation cards. I've seen so many online, and you could also make your own. You could design your own on Canva, and then you could print and laminate them at Office Max. I have been wanting to do this, and I think I'm gonna do it for my next dinner party. Another way is if it is a dinner party type situation, you could do a seating chart and seat people next to people who you think they'll have good conversation with. But again, I think this goes back to your guest list. Think of your guest list and if most of the people will be able to have good conversation. If you're finding that they won't really mesh, maybe, I don't know, there could be a bunch of different factors to this, I would kind of reevaluate because that's a really important part of the night. And my last tip, tip number 5, is prepare, prepare, prepare. At least a week in advance. I like to start doing one thing to prep every day of the week leading up to it. I try to do like my invites and stuff like that early on, and then if there's anything detailed that takes time, anything I need to order in the mail, I'll do that more than a week in advance. But the last week I really try to set myself up for success, and this is what's going to make an event and a gathering, planning it, fun versus overwhelming and stressful. Prep as much food as you can and do not try to make everything homemade. Make sure you have a mix of store-bought and homemade, things that take longer, things that are quick and easy. So if you're making a meal and you're making a dinner that has some components that take a long time, make sure you're doing something easy for drinks. Maybe this is like a make your own mocktail or cocktail bar. I've done this where you just get, for a mocktail, you get sparkling waters, you get juices, you get garnishes and citrus, and people, as soon as they arrive, can just make their own mocktail. So make sure it's a mix of like the guests helping you and you doing stuff on your own. Maybe this is some of the guests bringing a dish to share, doing a little more potluck style. Just try to not do it all by yourself. And that is it. Those are my top 5 hosting tips that make hosting so much more fun instead of overwhelming. I hope these are helpful for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along here and on my Instagram if you want to see my monthly hosting. I'm really excited for what's coming up for the rest of the year.